Today, we're going to deconstruct one of the most detailed design specifications ever recorded. We're talking about the blueprint for the Tabernacle. It's this incredibly precise, super demanding, and honestly fascinating plan for a sacred structure, and we're going to explore it piece by piece.
So right off the bat, this is the central design challenge that drives the entire project. Think about it. This isn't about building a massive cathedral to stand for 1,000 years. The real trick is creating a profound, holy space that can be packed up, hauled across the desert, and then put back together perfectly time after time. This blueprint, well, it's the solution to that exact problem.
So where does any special space begin? Well, you have to define its boundaries, right? Before you can have a center, you need a perimeter. So the first part of our little blueprint tour starts with the courtyard. That's the enclosure that separated the sacred space from, everything else.
And the blueprint is unbelievably specific. The length of this enclosure, 100 cubits. Just kind of lock that number in your head for a second while we get a sense of the scale here. And then the width, 50 cubits. So right away, boom, we've got a clear footprint. It's a perfect 2-to-1 rectangle laid out on the desert floor. Which, of course, begs the question, what in the world is a cubit? Ah, there we go. It's a beautifully human measurement, isn't it? Based on the body itself. So that means our courtyard at 100 by 50 cubits is roughly 150 feet long by 75 feet wide. Okay, now we can actually picture the space we're dealing with. Now, this enclosure wasn't a solid wall. Think of it more like a modular system. A kit of parts, really, designed for super easy assembly and disassembly. And notice the materials. You've got heavy bronze bases to keep it stable on the sand, elegant linen curtains for the walls, and then precious silver for the hooks and bands. Every single piece had its place. And of course, the entrance couldn't just be a simple gap in the fence. No way. It was given this really special treatment. This curtain wasn't plain white linen. It was this vibrant, intricate tapestry of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn. And the text specifically calls it the work of an embroiderer. This tells you it's a threshold, a point of transition, and it's marked by real beauty and incredible skill. You know, the precision of this design goes all the way down to the choice of materials. Check out this pattern. Bronze, which is the strong, functional metal, is used for the bases, the parts that are literally touching the earth. But silver, the more precious metal, is used for the hooks and bands higher up. This is not random. It's a deliberate hierarchy of materials, almost like a symbolic map connecting the earthly to the divine. Okay, so we've established the boundary. Now let's step inside and look at the courtyard's functional and visual centerpiece, the Great Bronze Altar. This thing was the absolute focal point. It was a perfect square, 5 cubits long by 5 cubits wide, and stood 3 cubits high. The core was acacia wood, which is this really hard, dense wood you'd find in the region, but its entire outside was overlaid, or as I like to think of it, armored in bronze. I mean, it had to be tough enough to handle some serious heat. Let's just walk through this brilliant construction for a second. First, you build the hollow wooden frame. Then, step 2, you clad the entire thing in bronze. For the details, horns are made at each corner, but they're part of the altar itself, all one piece, for strength. Inside, they install a bronze grating. Even the tools, the pots, the shovels, the forks, are all specified to be solid bronze. And finally, you have to be able to move it, so they attach rings and poles for carrying. It's just a masterpiece of portable, heavy-duty engineering designed for a very specific and powerful purpose. But a structure, no matter how well it's built, is really just an empty shell without a purpose, without something that animates it. And that brings us to the final part of the blueprint. We've seen the physical space and its functional heart. Now we get to the command that gives it all life, that transforms it from just a collection of objects into a place of constant presence. Yeah, after all those intricate details about wood and metal and fabric, the blueprint concludes with an action, a command for something to be done continually. This is what gives the entire structure its soul, its ongoing reason for being. And that command is for light. But again, the details are everything. The fuel source, it has to be the purest stuff available, clear oil of pressed olives. The purpose is to make sure the lamps never ever go out. And this isn't a job for just anybody, it's a specific responsibility for a specific family to be performed at a specific time, from evening until morning, every single day. And here's why this is so important. The blueprint explicitly says that this act of keeping the light burning isn't a temporary rule. It is a lasting ordinance for the generations to come. So the physical structure might be portable, but its purpose, this light, was intended to be permanent, a legacy to be passed down through time.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. From the hierarchy of metals in a fence to the exact type of oil for a lamp, every single detail is specified. So the question is this: when a design is that meticulously planned, that extraordinarily precise, what does that level of detail reveal about its ultimate purpose?